Well, this park is at the heart of the Kingshurst community. It's normally a beautiful and serene place for people to enjoy the scenery, the wildlife and the tranquility of nature. But this weekend, it became the scene of a tragedy as 4 children fell through the frozen lake into the icy waters below. Sadly, 3 of them have died and the community is understandably devastated. We've been here all day and we've seen a constant stream of people coming to lay flowers, teddies and balloons and to simply comfort one another. That sense of togetherness is very clear to see, and the residents rallied to help the emergency services both last night and today. We'll have more on that in just a moment, but first, Lewis Warner reports on a devastating 24 hours.
With the worst news confirmed, 3 boys dead and another in a critical condition, emergency services today kept searching, wading through the water with the hope not of rescue but of recovery. More than 24 hours on, this search is just a precaution. As what people feared became fact, parents, along with their own children, arrived to lay flowers.
Like, we feel broken as a community, and it's just the feeling that we all want to help and just show that we care, really.
It's heartbreaking for me. I mean, I know I'm a mother and I know what the family must be going through.
Yeah, it's quite shocking and it's incomprehensible, I think. I think that's all to be said, really. I don't think words can do, obviously, any justice to it.
The water in Babbs Mill Lake has now taken 3 lives. Boys aged 8, 10, 11, all died after falling through the ice. Why they were out on the water is still unclear. Today, police spoke of the moment officers tried their best to save them.
One of my officers was trying to punch through the ice to actually rescue the children themselves. That officer, as a result of that, had some mild hypothermia yesterday. I'm pleased to say that he's now been released from hospital and he's absolutely fine.
Yesterday evening, with little light to aid them, rescuers could be heard and seen trying to break through the ice. Drones flew above the lake for hours, the searchlights breaking through the darkness. With all of the park's entrances blocked by police, rescuers focused their search on the southeast area of the lake. Firefighters returned to the scene today to a ripple of applause.
The boys' deaths are a tragedy beyond words, and the thoughts and heartfelt sympathies of everyone here at West Midlands Fire Service are with their families, friends and the wider communities at this distressing time.
Just how cold it is here isn't hard to see, but how children of such a young age could be taken in such a tragic way is proving difficult to process.
Well, Lewis Warner joins me now. And Lewis, you were here yesterday. What was it actually like?
Well, ever since about 40 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. Obviously, before that, it was a nice scene that you described earlier. But after that, that's when the emergency services were initially called. Obviously, the mood here changed quite quickly. By the time I arrived here, just before 5 o'clock, the search operation was in full swing at that point. The thing that was immediately obvious to me was the fact that I could see and hear the rescuers using these long poles to try and smash through parts of the ice. We're standing on the other side of the lake to where you and I are now, but that scene was quite moving, and you could see people getting visibly upset by what they could see and hear, of course. And the other thing was that drones were flying up and down here because, as I mentioned in the piece there, it was so dark at the time and they really needed any sort of light to try and assist them in that. But of course we know, sadly today, that the news wasn't good for those 3 boys. But of course the rescue teams carried on and largely are still here today, and so much of this park remains cordoned off.
Yes, yeah. And the other big thing was how cold it is, which you and I can sense today in the short time that we've been here in comparison to those services last night.
And we've just had a bit of snow just before we came on air tonight, so that just shows you really, doesn't it, just how chilly it is tonight.
Yeah, and continues to be. For now, Lewis, thank you very much.